Hello YouTube, this is Jeff here, your YouTube reviewer of New Hampshire and New England brews. And today I'm reviewing another sampling from White Birch in Hooksett, New Hampshire, the Wrigian Belgian style ale. Alright, it's got a line across the I, so that means a long I to me, so it's probably rye, whether it's Wrigian or Wrigian or Wrigian. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it for those who are more familiar with the style, but I'm more here to drink it and to sample it rather than to try to pronounce it properly. But White Birch is a brewery from New Hampshire. Most of their brews are primarily available in New Hampshire, although they've begun spreading out a little bit into the Massachusetts market a little bit. So that's a good sign that maybe White Birch, which does some very nice Belgian-style brews, will soon be available to a wider audience and wider customers. And the thing that I like about White Birch is that, as I've said in some of the earlier reviews, you can take a look at the bottle and it kind of gives you the whole lowdown as to what you are going to have. This particular bottle was bottled on May 4th, 2010. And this is from batch number 3, and this is bottle number 418 out of 504, and the ABV, alcohol by volume, is 9.4%. And one other additional thing I like about this particular bottle is that it's autographed. Autographed by the brewer himself, Bill Herlicka. He autographed a number of his bottles for Craft Brewer Week in May. So, without any further ado, I'm going to pop the top and give it a try. So I'm going to open this into an Allagash snifter glass. I've had some people who've commented on my YouTube videos that I've used the wrong type of glass for some of my Belgian styles, so I went out and got myself an Allagash snifter to do a proper review in the proper glass. So let's pop this top and see what is in store. Alright, there goes the cap. A little bit of smokiness in there, not a whole lot. A little bit of foam building up inside of the glass itself. Time to do a pour. This won't take the entire sample, but it should give me a pretty good amount to just to start with here before I finish it off. Well, okay, this is a nice dark color. Yes, it's really a very dark brown. I have to try holding it up to a glass or something. If you hold it up to a window, sun has gone out since I started this particular review. I'm getting a darker brown with some nice ruby hues in there. Not a whole lot of head, but I think that's partly my own fault because I didn't really let it get up to this 45 degree, kind of 50 degree temperature that's probably more appropriate for this kind of a brew. It's probably being served in the low 40s. It's been out of the fridge for a little while, but maybe not just enough to really get the full effect. And let's give it a sniff. Now there's a nice bold aroma going on here. It's definitely got a bit of this caramel kind of malty sensation. A little bready to some degree. Not much in the way of hops, at least on the first sniff. It's kind of almost a fruity berry kind of thing going on as well. It's really complex, but it tends to be more of a caramel malt and a kind of a bitter ESB kind of sensation. With maybe just a little less punch than you might get. It's almost slightly see-through. It's not completely opaque, but you can see through a little bit if you hold it up to the light. I can see a little bit outside. Time to give it a sip. That definitely has a very interesting flavor. It's got a kind of sourness, but it's more like a hard liquor kind of thing. Yeah, there's a bit of caramel malts going on in this, but it's got this kind of sensation that kind of wraps itself around the back of my throat in a creamy way when it goes down, leaving this sort of chaser of an aftertaste. It's kind of a harder alcohol, bourbon-like, oak something to that effect going on here. There's also maybe a little bit of woodenness going on here.
a bolder mouthfeel. It's difficult to define. It's got this sort of sourness, but it's not unappealing in any way. You know, you still get that little touch of malts and sweetness, bitter sweetness, but then there's this sort of sensation going on. It's like swallowing something that's totally not beer-like, but it's not a bad thing. It's something that's just makes it feel stronger, feel bolder in some way. So it's actually a very nice brew. It's a little different than something you've probably ever had before. A much different taste than other beers, and that might be the rye that's going on in here. I'm not a big expert on rye beers. I've had them before, but I don't know a lot about them. So that might be the taste I'm getting here that I just don't normally taste in some of these darker beers that I try. However, this is something that I'm going to savor. I'm going to enjoy, and I'm going to go away and finish it off. I'd like to thank you for stopping by, and I'll catch you on my next review.